Hello, everybody. Brendan Kumar Sami here from Master Talk. Always great to see you. Today, we're going to talk about job interviews in my famous 131 framework to answer, tell me about yourself in every professional interview you have coming up. But before we jump into that, I want to do two things. The first thing is I want us to take a step back and ask ourselves why. Why do we have frameworks for different job interview questions? The answer is really simple. Let's say you are one of the people who is being interviewed for a role. I don't care if it's a technical role or leadership role, your dream role. And you're up against 10 other candidates, 10 other candidates, and they only have one role. Out of those 10 people, how many do you think are actually qualified to do the job? It's probably not just one, right? Probably four of them are qualified to do the job, maybe even five. So, how does management pick within those five people the best candidate? Well, a big part of that is experience, but we can't really change that. I can't say, okay, you need to go work for somebody for 5 years and then come back. It's not really a tangible thing we can control. So, what can we control? We can't control the number of years of experience, right? And we can't fix that all the way. But the big thing that we can use to stand out is the technical interview. But once again, the technical interview, I don't have much to say on that. You just have to study, do the homework, whether it's lead codes, whether it's understand the database and be able to understand those technical questions. So what's the only thing left? Communication skills, obviously. If candidate one comes into the interview room and they go, "Cool, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?" And you reply with, uh, um, uh, hi, my name is Brendan, and I've been working in Snowflake for the past 5 years. And the second candidate who has the same level of technical experience as you says, hi everyone, my name is Brendan Kumar. So for the past 7 years, I've worked in the Snowflake database, and this is a couple of lessons I've learned from managing teams of 20 people. Who are you going to hire? You're obviously going to hire candidate B, the second candidate, because you're seeing them leading teams. You don't even need to interview them that long to realize, oh, that person's a leader. That person communicates in a way that makes people want to follow them. So that's why. It's not you kind of have to master it, you must master this. You must be bulletproof. I see so many people who go into job interviews unprepared, and then they keep asking me, Brendan, why am I not getting the job? Well, how many times have you practiced the interview question? Oh, I kind of looked them up online. I did them a few times. You think that's going to get you the results you want? Especially with what you're learning right now in this module. The goal here is not to make $50,000 a year, too. We could find another coach for that. The goal is for you to get a job in leadership. I don't care if it pays 100, 150, 200, 500K. That's the goal. But not just for the money, not just for the impact it creates for your families, but also for the impact that you get to create as a leader. That's what leadership is at the end of the day. For those of you who are interested in a leadership role, that's what I specialize in. It's about leading people, right? It's about communicating in a way that makes people want to follow you. So that's one. Second piece, before we jump into 131, I want you to leave this video with tangible takeaways. I don't want you to just watch this and go, wow, Brendan's so cool. He's so smart. Wow, this framework is so useful. I want you to use the bloody framework. That's the goal. So what are you going to do now for the next 2 minutes? You're going to pause this video. Okay, you're going to pause this video. Pause it right now. And then what I want you to do is I want you to write your best shot of tell me about yourself. Pick any role. I don't care if you're applying for an SAP role, Oracle role, database role, integration project, doesn't matter, or you're a data scientist. Just picture your ideal role and just give me your best shot right now. Take 2 minutes, write out the best answer, and just say it out loud with no coaching. Then I want you to take that version, put it on the side, and then keep watching this video, and then compare the before and after so that when you're done watching this video, you go, oh my God, I actually didn't just learn something today. I applied it and I see the difference. Okay. So I need you to do this for me, and I want to see texts from all of you who are watching this video right now saying, Brendan, this is my before, this is my after, boss. That's what I want to hear. Okay. Now let's talk about after. 131. What is my signature framework on how to answer tell me about yourself? One, Give me one example that summarizes your career in 2 sentences or less. You could say something, and I'll use an example with a client that I was working with the other day, so don't worry. But it could be like a little personal story of how you started your career in India. Don't make it too long, okay? Don't make this like a 60-minute documentary series about your life. I'm talking about 10, 20 seconds. Hey, I grew up in India. I came to the United States 7 years ago. These are a couple of the titles. And as a leader, I'm passionate about X. That's one version. The second version is a value that you really care about. I've been leading teams, technical teams, Brendan, for the past 15 years. And one of the main qualities that's made me very successful as a leader is by focusing on empathy. It's by focusing on demanding the most from employees. It's by focusing on respect. What is that key value for you? Communicate that value out openly and profoundly. So, my value is to hold my teams to high standards, but take care of them. Hold them to exceptional standards, but take care of them. Be nice to them. Actually care about their well-being. That's my leadership style. So that's what I communicate when I'm in interviews. What's yours? That's one. Three, think about your ideal role, whether it's to be an architect, whether it's to be a manager, an IT manager, to be an IT leader. And then ask yourself, what are the three most important skills that that person needs to have? Whether it's strong technical skill set, whether it's leadership qualities, whether it's knowing how to scale and manage large technical teams. What is those skills? And for most of you, you guys are already in middle management or lower middle management. You want to get into manager or above. So for all of you, obviously a key component in tell me about yourself has to be leadership. The biggest mistake that people make in job interviews, especially for this audience, is that you guys focus too much on the technical experience. Oh, I coded JSON and Java and C++ and Python. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Just focus on the key results. And that's the other piece to these three things is you want to pick three key wins. Chris Johnson calls this your row of gold medals. Do you sound like an Olympic gold medalist or a guy who's just playing basketball casually with their friends or cricket with their friends? Are you some guy who's playing cricket on the street or are you out there hitting the bat with Virat Kohli, right? What is your standard of excellence? So if you go into an interview and you go, oh, every day I'm parsing data, I'm going through some logs versus, over the last 5 years that I've been working at JP Morgan Chase, I've led a team of 25 individuals, and the goal was to work on a $3.7 million technology implementation. And the goal was really around how do we revamp JP Morgan's ability to issue out reports to financial advisors across the country? Who are you going to hire? You're going to hire number two because that person sounds like a gold medalist. So when you're writing down those three accomplishments, talk about what did you do? How big was the team? Say the number. This is a team of 20 people that have been working. Talk about the project funding if you can. Is it a $3.7 million project? A $50 million project? How many stakeholders were involved in this project? What are some of the key results that you helped drive for the team? Don't just say, every day we had scrum calls, I coded this. No, talk about how many bugs, what project did you work on? Was it on time? Was it on budget? Was it on timeline? Give the key results. Hey, we're able to get this done. These are the key results for the business. Be very specific. So this is not just something you can watch in a video. You really want to sit down or brainstorm with other people in our coaching programs and sit down with them for 20 minutes and go, what do you think? What are my key experiences? This is my CV. What do you think are my three key wins here? That's what you want to focus on. So when I interviewed for IBM, when I had zero experience, I didn't even have a technical background. They hired me as an SAP consultant. This was long before I became a communication coach. I was a success factors consultant for SAP. I led onboarding 2.0, one of their new modules for globally. And why did they give me the job? Because I told a good story. Yeah, I have an accounting degree, but I said, you know what? These are the three key experiences that I've done in college, and I didn't even have work experience, very little. I'd worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers for a little bit in accounting, and I talked about how that professional experience was going to help me managing clients better at IBM. I worked in venture capital, which was related to tech, and I coached 20 different people in my case competition, but actually 50 on how to communicate better. So even if I was still a young guy back then, I think I was maybe 20 or 21 years old, all the executives of IBM loved me. They're like, man, this guy's a future partner at this company. Even if I was still in my early 20s. Why? Because I communicated leadership qualities. I communicated leadership qualities in the way that I'm speaking. So that's one, three. So one, let's recap so far to make sure you're not lost. If you're paying attention, number one, just tell a small story. Tell us a little bit more about your leadership qualities in 2 sentences or less. Don't spend your whole life talking about this. Three, key milestones, wins, experiences that are most related to the job you're applying for. And one, the last piece, which is talk about why the company and the role you're entering for right now, for today, is the perfect right next step in your career. This is perfect. This is exactly where you want to be. It's the next step of my career. I really want a role. I've always been passionate about mentoring people, and I really feel JP Morgan Chase can provide me that opportunity for growth. A lot of people miss the last part. They just go, thank you. They're not adding a little bit of compliments to the company. Versus a guy or gal who implements 131 at the end of that conversation. Think from the interviewer's perspective. Oh my God, I've been talking to so many technical candidates all day and they suck at communication. Whereas this guy just came in, this girl just came in and just explained a clear business case as to why you're the perfect candidate. And the interview hasn't even started yet. It's just question one. So there's a you want to watch this video 2, 3 times, by the way, because a lot of gold here if you really implement everything. There's a psychologic term on this. It's a psychology term, and it's called confirmation bias. So confirmation bias in interviews just means, team, that whatever my first impression is of you, that is what I will continue to believe for the rest of the interview, the rest of the conversation. So if you're phenomenal and tell me about yourself, I'm going to create stories in my mind as to why you're so exceptional. We do this all the time in our personal life, right? Think about the last 5 people you met on the street. Your first impression carries so much weight in what you think of them. Versus if you start your tell me about yourself with, I thank you so much for this opportunity, and you don't sound that confident. You're not really looking at them while you're talking, and you're kind of blah, blah, blah. You're blubbering your words. They're going to make up stories as to why you suck, why you shouldn't get the job. And we want you to make sure, as somebody's watching this video, that you're number one, not number two. You're number one, the person who goes, wow, where has this candidate been all day? I've been tired of interviewing all these Bs. I finally have an A plus. I better give this person an offer before that guy goes to another bank, before that girl gets a job somewhere else. And that's the person you want to be. Okay? Let's do a little quick example together. And once again, I want to emphasize my 131 that I did with Naresh, who's one of our clients in one of my ecosystems, is not the perfect tell me about yourself. It could still use work. It's a little bit long, but it's better than the stuff that most of us are putting out right now in the job market. Okay. So I want you to keep an open mind. I want you to see how 131 gets applied. And I'm sure in 6 months, this is going to change. Me and Naresh is going to go back. We're going to talk more and say, what is the feedback you're getting in interviews? How can we modify this answer? How can we make it shorter, etc.? But this version already, I would say, is at least an 8 out of 10, and it's better than most candidates is 5 or 6 out of 10. Actually, 4 out of 5 out of 10. Okay? So here's what I'm going to do. One, this is the one. This is the three. Okay, I kept it 2 paragraphs because it was too long. So there's like 2 to 3 different experiences. It could be two as well. Just don't make it just one. You want to at least talk about two. And then next steps. So next steps just means 131, right? So one, 3 key experiences that are embedded in 2 paragraphs here, and one. Okay. Now what I want you to do, and I want you to do this with me. Do this with me. Don't just watch me do it like me. Okay, as I'm speaking. So watch me do this now. I'm gonna literally read this out loud, and this is how I want you to practice. You want to write it out, practice it, get rid of your uhs, your ums, there's another video on 5 levels of speech. Go watch that. It's in Communication Mastery. But watch me do this. This is exactly how I want you to do it, okay? Hey, John, it's great to be here. My name is Naresh, and over the past 15 years, I've had the pleasure of leading many data analytics initiatives that have played a pivotal role in my previous roles at Oracle, AT&T, T-Mobile, my current role at JPM. Over the past 4 years at JP Morgan, my team and I have led a multitude of technology initiatives that have saved the company millions of dollars and valuable employee hours. One of the examples is the modernization of the risk platform that is primarily used for the reporting and auditing requirements. Previously, these reports used to take 2 to 3 business days to turn over back to the financial advisors and auditors. But the post-modernization from on-prem to AWS, we were able to send these reports within a day, and we were able to save the business over $500,000 annually. I personally led a team of 10 individuals from end-to-end implementation and ensured the team aligned to achieve the seamless user experience with the 1,500 business users and 200 data scientists that were affected by this change. I've led teams in pioneering many frameworks that I'm happy to discuss in more detail if you'd like Jade, Sandbox, Spark, ETL that have been adapted by our 40 technology teams within the bank. As I look into the next step of my career, I realized that my favorite part of my job is really mentoring and leading people and helping them being more successful. One of the examples is conducting monthly lunch and learn sessions that I love to do across different engineering teams that I'm managing. And also best practice is inspiring them to learn new technology and helping their business. And by looking into this role with you, I really hope to lead even bigger technology implementations and inspire bigger teams to achieve even greater results. Thanks a lot. Notice how confident I'm not speaking too fast. Let's debrief this, okay? Notice how it's short. 2 sentences. That's it. I didn't go, hey, it's great to see you. This is where I was born. This is my village. This is my birthday. I didn't go into all these crazy details. 2 sentences. Hey, it's great to be here. I wasn't fast either. Hey, it's great to be here. My name is Naresh. I didn't thank them for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Don't do that. Okay? The mindset you want to have is you already have 50 job offers. You're still nice. You're courteous, but you're not desperate. People feel desperate energy off of you, okay? It's great to be here. I've had the pleasure of leading. Notice I'm soft, I'm slow, I take my time. This is how executives talk, Dave. This is how management people talk. If you're too fast, if you're not, it's great to be here. My name is George. If you're too low, you don't sound that confident. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be loud. For my introverts listening to this video, it's not about being loud, right? Notice I'm not going, hey, it's great to be here. Hey, it's great to be here. My name is Naresh. So you're strong, you're confident, but you're not loud. So everyone, including my introverts watching this, can do this. Now let's break down the 3 key experiences here. Over the past 4 years, notice how I'm quantifying. He hasn't been at JP Morgan for 3 days. He's been there for 4 years. It's more impressive, right? My team and I led. This is very important wording. You're showing you're a leader. If you're applying for a leadership role and all you're talking about is the data you're parsing every day or the technical modules or the problems you're solving alone, no one's going to hire for your management role. Doesn't matter. Tell the story of being in management, right? So I took Naresh's projects and I say, hey, Naresh, give me the 3 biggest projects you led, the 2 biggest projects you led that have been the most successful for the bank. And that's what we created together. What are the key results? Business results, right? The key to management team is you have technical skill set and you align technical skill set to business objectives. This is what is called a business case. So when you become a director of engineering, when you become a VP, you communicate across all business units, not just engineering. You're talking to a lot of functional teams, and that's who you're interfacing with a lot on the management side, right? Whether it's on the client side or internally within the business. So you need to be able to communicate both the business case and the technical use case of what you're doing, okay? And that's what defines the top 1% of management engineers with everyone else. So one of those examples, so notice how I'm not giving 10 examples here. Tell me about yourself as a 2 to 3 minute answer. Hey, this is the main idea here, modernizing the risk platform. I'll tell you what happened. And Naresh explains in easy English, this is he just talked about on-prem to AWS. He didn't go, this was the technical module we had before. These were the components of that module. Here's the specific AWS thing we're implementing. Here's the enhancements that we did for the client. He's not going into those details. They're not relevant for the interviewer. He's just going into, this is the overarching project. And if you want to ask me more technical details, so you know I know my stuff, you can ask me, but they probably won't ask a lot if it's a management role, okay? Notice how time it takes. Remember, results are not just in money, they're in time. So I asked Naresh, how much time did these reports used to take? How much time do they take now? How much money is the business saving? Second piece, another team. What's the number? Don't just say I led a team. How big was the team? Is it 10 people? Notice if you led a team of 100 people, it's more impressive, right? End-to-end implementation. How many business owners and how many end users, excuse me, is this technology impacting? A lot of people don't add that into their answers. They just go, yeah, I completed a project. How many people were affected by this project? 40,000? 10,000? Notice if you say the number 40,000. Oh, wow. Wow. Naresh really worked on such a big project. He's a really successful guy, right? Or Saujanya worked on this project. She's a very successful woman. That's really the point. You're communicating the things you've already done in your career upfront without them telling you. And then I had him talk about the third idea was really just having him talk about some frameworks. Frameworks are okay. As long as you're the one inventing them, just don't spend too much time on them. Don't go like these are the 48 different frameworks. He's invented a lot of frameworks. But I told Naresh, keep it to three. What are the three most impactful ones? That's all I want to hear. What are the three impact frameworks that have had the most impact across the most number of technology business units within the firm that are impacting most of the end users and that have the biggest financial impact for the business? So out of those 40 frameworks, he picked three. Those are the three you focus on. You don't focus on the other 37. That's what technical architects do to show how smart they are. Management doesn't care. They just care about how much money they're saving, how much time they're saving, and how much pain you're going to be in my ass if I hire you. And if you're not going to be a pain and you have exceptional communication skills and I have to micromanage you like this, very little, then you're my guy. You're the woman that I want to hire for this role. Very simple. And the final piece of 131 is as I look into the next step of my career. I realize you're looping in the story. I realize that my favorite part of my job is mentoring people. Okay, if you don't say this, you shouldn't be in management. What is management? It's not coding. It's helping other people. It's leading them to do the technical work you used to do. So you need to tell a story like Naresh did so phenomenally. That's why he's getting the results that he deserves. Is he's telling people, hey, I'm mentoring people. I'm doing lunch and learn sessions. I'm helping new technology. I'm helping them learn the business. And by looking into this role, I want to grow even more in my career. I want to be a better leader. I want to lead even bigger technology implementations. And what you're sharing is you're telling people, wow, this person's ready for management. Heck, this person's already in management. I'm lucky that this person is interviewing with me today. And that's 131. Let's recap. One, tell me a quick 2-sentence story. Make it short, make it easy, make it simple. What's going on in your life? Okay? Little story that led you over the past 50. You could use what Naresh did here. Totally fine. Three key experiences. We focus on subject matter expertise, biggest team that he's led, and the explanation of the most successful project that he's worked on in his career at JPM. And finally, next step in your career. Why is this company the next step? Make people feel special. Make people say, wow, I can see why Naresh is interviewing with us today. I can see that. I did the same thing when I interviewed at IBM. The reason why I feel IBM is the next step in my career is because I've always wanted to be a technology consultant. That was my dream. That's why I did CaseCom, just why I coached all these people. I love mentoring people. I love client services, and I really love the people at this firm. I have a chance to have 10, 15 copies with different members of the team here, and I just want to be a part of this community, a part of this company. They're just gonna be speechless. They're gonna stop and say, they're gonna stop the interview, just clap for you. This is amazing. Wow, this person is clearly prepared. Okay, last piece on this, two last pieces actually. One, you want to practice this so much that it's innate, and you want to practice it even more so it doesn't sound scripted. Let me repeat that again. You want to practice this so much that it becomes innate, and you want to practice it even more so that it doesn't feel scripted. So you want to practice this first so you know what you're talking about. And then after, you want to practice it again without the paper so that it sounds casual. But don't get this twisted. You better practice this 20 times. I want you, this is your key action item. You're going to read this to yourself 10 times. You want to get paid 200 grand to do a job? You want to get paid $300,000 to lead implementations? Then act like a $200,000 person. Act like a $300,000 person. Notice I'm not just stopping this video after 5 minutes and I'm saying, you know what? I'm done. I added enough value to. I'm squeezing the juice. I'm taking the oranges. I'm squeezing it. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget every little detail. And that's why I'm a 300K guy. I'm a $500,000 guy. I'm a $1 million guy. I'm a $10 million guy. And I want you to be that person too for your businesses, for the technical teams that you are leading. That is really the key. So practice this 10 times, write it. I want you to watch this video again and write the tell me about yourself. Don't just sit here with the information. I want this to be done. And then I want you, let's see who's going to do this. I want you to send me what you had before, because I told you to pause the video before, and what you have now. And that is what will motivate you to say, I'm ready for job interviews and I'm going to crush. If you made it to the end of this video, you're a superstar. Keep up the incredible work that you're doing. And I can't wait to hear more stories of you crushing in the corporate world. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a fantastic day. Appreciate you.